if you were to die, I know the first request you would have of me is to delete your browser history.
It would be to delete everything.
I think that's everybody's request.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Delete.
Like pour fucking thermite on that shit and
Like burn that.
We're also recording.
oh, and we're talking about browsing history.
The computer.
Spicy. Okay.
Files are in the computer.
Hi guys, welcome to episode 16.
Yep.
All right, I'll bring it in. Okay, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Panther Airsoft Folding Table Talk. This episode is episode 16, and today, what's our heading? What did we decide on?
It's fall. It's cold.
It's fall, and it is cold.
Jackets. Jackets keep you warm. Jackets, you need them. Jackets, you wear them.
You should wear them, or any number of things that you could use to keep warm. Sweaters are good. You don't need a jacket.
But as you can see, we're wearing jackets right now because it's cold at the field.
It's just a
Would you
little
consider
bit.
this a jacket?
I mean,
We'll get into that.
Oh, okay, all right.
I feel like that's more of like a onesie type of feel. I mean,
Yo, it is not a onesie because it doesn't go all the way down.
okay, well,
Dude,
if
it's
you
a skirt at the bottom.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like,
She's not wearing pants, by the way.
Well, pants was last topic, was it not? Or was that belt?
Belt.
No, that was
Belt.
Belt. Hold up
That's
your.
why.
We skipped a step.
I'm sorry, guys. No, we didn't
forgot
skip
to
a step.
talk
I'm just
about
saying.
pants.
I don't have a belt on, so belts, keep up your pants.
Yeah.
So I don't have that, so no pants.
Don't look down.
Oh God! All right, thank God we can only see half of you. All right, thanks for anyone that survived that first couple of minutes there. But obviously, yeah, guys, the colder months are approaching, and it's we're here to discuss on how to get ready for them. So yeah, what are you guys thinking? Sorry, Poi, I think I'm stepping on you here.
Yeah, you went up.
We've got our format. We gotta go through
Gotta
it.
follow the format.
Sorry,
You just want to get into the meat of the topic.
Well, I just really liked our
I get
discussions
it.
right before we started recording here. And that's
Browser history?
No, not that one. Okay, take it away, boy.
So, we have any updates from our last podcast, Battle Belts, First Line? I think we had a pretty good discussion about it. A lot of people enjoyed the discussions on what battle belts are to begin with.
I think just because of the range of it, we went all the way from your basic stuff all the way to the possible Gucci stuff that you're going to end up buying. But, everyone's price range is different. Everyone's airsoft budget is different. And it just comes to what feels good for you and what you can do, practical application.
So this is what I told to someone. This is the peak of, male fashion
belts.
dominance. Like,
Wait, belts or jackets?
just airsoft in general.
I do tell everyone that airsoft is 90% looks.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it definitely is
90%, maybe more.
Because after you get past the point of having your gun and then shooting, everyone gets into this whole pay to win mentality of getting skins and stuff like that, right? I know you're all looking at me like that. Don't look at me like that. Look at yourselves. Gosh.
Tack, are you not wearing a Russian partisan uniform?
No.
I got this
That's
with the
Gorka.
purchase of my AK, okay? It came with the package.
If you're going to get an AK, you're going to get a Russian kit.
You got
You're going to get a Russian kit, you're going to have to meme hard.
Yeah. But
100%. You gotta have that space for that speaker. You gotta crank that music up, baby.
Hard bass. As you can see, well, not see around here, we were just here. There's no smoke. I think just the weather in general just carried it all away. So if you guys are concerned about asthmatic issues or anything,
respiratory issues,
yeah, you're not gonna have any issues at the field. Highly
Clear
recommend.
skies.
Yeah. But the only issue is it's now fall. Summer is gone.
it's over.
It's over, guys. I'm sorry. And we're coming into the fall months, which is wet and cold. And I guess that segues into your favorite topic, Mac.
Jackets. Jackets?
No, it's just the topic is fall.
Yeah, we were just gonna say fall
season.
Sorry, we could get into
But we're
jackets.
getting into the apparels and gear and all sorts of.
God, I'm screwing this up. Sorry, guys. Apparel.
Actually,
Wait, do you even read the script? I
do.
I said script.
I'm sorry.
Oh no.
You blew it, boy. No, yeah, no.
I'm just saying the topic is fall.
I know it's fall. I'm sorry. I apologize. I know it's a broad, encompassing subject, and
You keep wanting to add another word to it. Just stick to fall.
Autumn.
Thank you, boy. I was just gonna say, can we not be American for a second and say autumn instead of fall?
We have to be different.
We have to. That's why we say autumn.
Okay.
Americans say fall because leaves fall.
That is true.
I'm not gonna continue that.
Anyways.
Alrighty.
So choosing this topic, reason we chose it is because yes, it is the fall, like autumn solstice coming up, or not up. It's for the next 3 months. It's going to be this weather.
Mm-hmm.
So it is good to inform our viewers, our listeners, and whatever else device you're watching, listening this on. I guess I don't know. Any drivers?
I've had a couple people tell me that they're listening to us while they're driving. So shout out to those people.
Shout outs to the truckers.
Well, I guess definitely I'd like to get into maybe just sharing our own experiences of playing in this kind of weather, at least, just because I believe all of us here have played in more than one season, so we can at least have varying experiences for that same time of year, because it's not always this bad. At least that's what I'm trying to get.
Let's just break it down. What are we expecting for the next 3 months, weather-wise?
It gonna rain.
Thank you, Ollie.
Thanks.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it's wet.
Yeah,
it's wet. It's cold. It's dark.
This is where Vancouver earns the name and stuff like that. We're done with those nice months where we, get what I don't know, 2, maybe sometimes 3 months of nice sunshine back to back and stuff like that. This doesn't say that we're not going to get any nice days or clear days or dry days and stuff like that throughout. It's just going to be a lot less prevalent.
I think historically in Panther here, when it comes to the autumn month. That's September, October, November, and then in December as well, right? It becomes it's almost the end of September too. So October, November, December.
Yeah.
It does get
rolling into the end of the year here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does get yucky. The weather gets yucky. Same goes in spring too. It's just at that wet season.
Well, and you can get tricked a lot. That's the other thing that a lot of people seem to get misinformed about or aren't prepared for, right? Like I find that and I've seen it happen to a lot of people too. Just from what I remember from the past, it's like people would see it'd be nice and sunny in the morning and stuff like that. People would be wearing shorts. Come 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock, or whatever it is later in the afternoon, suddenly the clouds start coming in and it's piss and rain for the next 2-3 hours. Yeah, it's only, for that short amount of time, but in that short amount of time, you're getting soaked wet and you're having a bad time.
And yeah, we've seen a lot of people with wet clothing here.
Well, and sometimes we end up jumping to the other side too, right? Like during these months, a lot of people live out towards closer to Metro Vancouver and everything like that. So they're getting hit with these crazy rain, wind, all this stuff because they're close to the mountains, right? So they're just getting rained on, but it's hilarious because anytime you cross that river, right, and come south to Surrey and everything like that, especially all the way down here at Panther on 16th Ave, all of a sudden the weather's different.
Yeah.
Right?
That is true. There are that odd occasion that...
Well, it's not even that odd though, right?
Pissing down, it is pissing everywhere kind of thing. But yeah, you're right. For the majority of the part, if it's pretty bad, elsewhere here in Metro Vancouver, if you come to Panther, it's either lightly raining, barely rained, or just rained.
Pushed through,
Yeah, so what did Elliot say? If you're looking for the weather forecasts for Panther alone, the closest weather station for us,
it's
Hazelmere Golf
course?
Golf course or something like that. They have a weather station there. Yeah.
Is it the cemetery
it's the golf course. Yeah.
Okay.
It's down the road. Or something.
Yeah, of course, the golfers need their weather.
Well, they need to know.
Yeah.
Well, if there's anyone who's going to know about weather, it's the golfers. Not a shot to you guys.
I don't know. Our gears are more expensive than theirs, I tell you what.
I don't know.
But they shoot further.
A set of clubs?
That's true. Anyways. We're measuring sticks here.
Literally. But yeah, obviously, just from my own personal experiences, I've definitely had it where, sometimes you under-prepare. I hate those moments, right? Like you're talking about with the shoes and everything. So all of a sudden you're gearing up for a weekend and everything. It's like, I got a spare pair of pants. I got good pants. I got a t-shirt, a spare t-shirt. I got a jacket. All of a sudden you run out and you're still wearing your Nike Free Runners, right? And, there you go. You're running through Panther where you got 6 inches of mud and everything like that. Because like you're saying, it's sporadic rain, so it's on and off. Yeah. So it doesn't mean that it's raining the whole day or constantly or anything like that. But everything is wet. Yep. So, especially going out into the forest there, especially going out into swamp or any kind of just wooded area and stuff like that. Everything's so...
A lot of the environment doesn't look like there's puddles of mud and stuff, but a lot of it is all absorbed in like the wood
Well, just
is
soaks
wet.
up, right?
It
Exactly.
just soaks up everything, like the
deadfall,
leaves, the
yeah.
deadfall, the freaking. You think you're laying prone there, and all of a sudden you're sucking up all that fucking all the wet stuff on
How
your
many
clothes.
times have we been there? Eh,
Yeah.
Floyd? I know.
Well,
right?
definitely the rain and the fall definitely changes the terrain around here and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You might have gotten away with it sometimes in the summer and the spring. You know, I wouldn't say so much in the spring, mostly in the summer. Right, guys wearing like the runners and stuff like that, as you were saying earlier. But you know, if you want to have a good time,
Your feet need to stay
I
dry,
would stop doing that. And
You know what the
actually-
bonus is? It's less dusty around a Panther,
True.
It
like,
is,
I do
yeah,
appreciate
but it's more
that.
muddy.
Yeah, it is more muddy. Yeah,
more people
and,
tracking
actually,
mud
there's a
into
lot
my
of guys
shop.
are probably gonna slip with that. So if you're going to try and be that guy, I guess wear cleats maybe.
Or
you know?
just slow it down, man. Slow
Ooh,
it
that's
down.
another one, especially for me that breaks my ankles
Yeah,
a hell of a
well-
lot. That piece of wood right there that looks like it's solid, it's nice and shiny. Step on it with your boots and you're going sideways.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
and
I
then
remember
you tear
seeing,
your
I think last year, a
groin
couple
or
guys
something.
Yeah.
wearing cleats and stuff like that, and that worked for them. You just be
Not
careful
a bad
and stuff
idea.
like that.
Not a
It's not a
bad
bad
idea.
idea, but again, I'm more of an advocate for the ankle support and stuff like that. and
Well, as
wearing
long as we're
proper
not
boot wear.
soccer, FIFA slide tackling people into the face, I think Elliot will allow it.
I hope.
CQB not allowed.
I'm just hoping that
Cleats.
that you don't
Silent
let that guy
kill.
get that close to you. Like by that point, hopefully you dusted him.
I hope so. God.
So let's see here. So as far as like clothing goes, what is the most appropriate clothing? I think it's just common sense at this point, but we're just reminding our viewers what is the most appropriate clothing, especially for airsoft, to use out here
I would
in the
say
next
just,
3 months.
just a proper jacket,
We'll set him up from the beginning.
well, like the sweater's the easiest one to go with, right?
Yeah.
Sweater I believe is all year round. Yeah, kind of when it gets to the winter and the spring, or the winter and the fall when it starts raining and stuff, it can soak up.
For
but-
me, I think like important is base layer, like a t-shirt.
That's what I'm saying. Get
is
some dry
great.
fit on there.
Get some dry fit, but it's
100
not like
100 yeah.
it's not like you need it for like extreme cold like winter. The reason you need like an
Moisture
inside
wicking.
a
Well, yeah,
base
you
layer
need-
is because your clothes outside is gonna get wet
Yes.
You
regardless.
need to control that moisture barrier, 100%.
Yeah. So like a good base layer is good. You want that secondary layer underneath or that first lining and layer, and then a secondary layer outside, so that you keep the wet out, and then you got a dry, fit inside you.
It's the same principle with socks. Like I don't know if anyone out there does that or anything, but like when it gets closer to these kinds of months, I usually double up my socks.
I mean,
I wear wool socks.
Yeah. But also, I'm not gonna lie, because of where we play and out here and stuff like that. Like typically, I would be double socking because I'm wearing my stuff
yeah.
all day.
I mean, there are I like the wool socks too. I like your idea of wool
I'm
socks
not
because
doubling up wool socks.
yeah,
I don't
or
think my shoe size could deal with that. I'd have to go with size
another
up.
one is merino wool for just like anything in general for this weather, because it's like like rainforest temperate weather. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
exactly.
cold. It's gonna be wet. Merino wool for me, it's like a lifesaver.
Or fleece or something
Fleece,
like that.
yeah.
It's definitely not.
So
not,
that
not
would be a
great for the
secondary
wet.
layer. That would be a secondary layer.
Not great for the wet, but it definitely does retain your heat for
Yeah.
you.
Well, so yeah, if you combo that up with like a waterproof layer on the outside or some kind of vinyl layering on the outside, so that
Aren't you wearing Arc'teryx underneath there?
Am I allowed to flex now?
Yeah. Oh boy.
yeah, no, that's nice. That's so thin, but like
Oh, it's such a nice jacket. I love
yeah.
it.
So there you go. Like standard, if you live in Vancouver, you know how to dress for the weather. But especially if you're playing airsoft with this weather and you're exerting a lot of energy, and as well as like you're brushing into like nature and rolling and crawling around and stuff, you're gonna get wet.
Yeah.
much faster.
Happening.
100%. Well, exactly. Like,
Even if it's not raining, you're still gonna get wet going through that wooded area.
Even if it didn't rain that day, it rained the day
Yeah.
before or something
exactly,
like that.
there's gonna be it's just gonna be wet.
Well, and I mean, I guess that's why the best piece of advice, honestly, even if it's not fall, and this is something that Tack and I hold true to as well, is we always have a change of clothes. Always want to have a change of clothes.
Oh yes, that's
Yeah.
that's another one
Exactly.
is important, is bring change of clothes, because you don't want to go home, especially when you're having a long drive wet.
Yeah, sopping wet. You're playing with your boys all
Yeah.
day. You're ruffling around in the forest and rolling around like you said, and you just become a sponge.
Well,
and
it's
then
the
you
same
got to drive
principle with
home like
the,
that.
shoes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
Shoes, yeah.
yeah. So that's for me on a personal standpoint, just because of my day job. If my feet get wet, my morale is zapped. right?
Exactly.
So I always try and make sure that I have like good footwear or something like that. Like right now, when I'm at Panther and everything, I'm not wearing them right now, but I've got just nice, not cheap, but kind of an inexpensive pair of hiking shoes, right? So they're like Wind River or something like that. So not bad, waterproof to the point. I wish the heel was higher, and that's where I'll take it off. Poi, I know you know about ankles.
What an introduction.
I'm sorry.
Ankles.
This is where
They
where
support
you could
us.
start wearing your winter boots.
Yes,
Not
exactly.
winter boots, as in like if you have like thick military like winter like Gore-Tex boots. It's the best time to wear, especially for the Pacific Northwest here. Yes, it's wet. Yes, it's muddy, and you're gonna get into like like ankle high, like almost like ankle high like puddles and stuff.
100%,
It's good
yeah,
good time to wear
exactly.
it now. They're heavy, clunky, but they work.
Yeah, it's like you thought that puddle was only 2 inches,
Or
and
the
then all of
same
a sudden
thing
your
like
foot
you-
sinks.
Yeah.
Stop wearing desert boots at this time. Why? Because it's gonna soak up all the water.
Yeah, all those guys with the
They
condor
are
boots
designed
and
to
stuff.
ventilate.
Yeah.
Well, that and also I'm gonna see you because most desert boots are tan.
There's desert boots that are black, right?
Yeah, I've seen
but the
both,
styles
man.
are
But
still.
It's a breathable. Like,
Yeah,
Okay,
so-
all right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying most of the guys who wear that stuff are wearing tan, and I can see you in this kind of.
Well, I mean, they're great
environment
boots.
now.
I mean, whatever.
Also, I'll point it out right away, dude. Those are desert boots. You're gonna get soaking wet, and then you see
100%.
like
Your feet
that
are-
water just creeping up from their like
100%.
ankle.
You just start watching it at the beginning of the day.
Yeah,
it's like a
yeah,
sponge.
it becomes from like light
It's like a
sort of
reverse
desert
hourglass.
Yeah.
all the way to brown, and you're like, I wonder how wet his legs are. But
It's having a bad day.
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely footwear. Like, if I were to give anybody advice, like, and this comes from Airsoft in general in any months, right? Like, we've done episodes on this, building the kit, like building the gun and everything like that. But definitely, footwear is a high priority to me when I explain Airsoft to people, because you want to have all around balance and stuff like that. And then coming into these gross months, all it takes is you to step on a slippery surface.
you're done for the day.
and you're done, and maybe you don't break your ankle or but you slip out and you pull your groin or you fall over and you smack your face, and all it takes is an injury to kind of like ruin the day, right? So like for airsofters and just people in general, is just kind of like mind your feet, watch where you're going, and dress for the weather, and that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah, because we've seen a lot of people who just come in here, especially renters too.
Boy, I've been there, okay?
Yeah.
I'm the one most of the time. When I'm talking about these experiences, everyone, I want you to know that I was that idiot. When I say, yeah, I knew a guy, it's me.
Okay, so you are the guy.
Yeah, I'm the guy.
So we're gonna see a lot of different styles come in, different styles, as in like that's the standard Canadian style. The tactical plaid is back.
Yeah, flannel.
Everyone,
daddy is
every
back
flannel
home.
daddy.
Yeah.
I do love that logo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plaid, great. They're fleeced, lined, depending on what you get. Like
Yeah.
the construction ones are great.
Yes.
The thin ones are for the summer ones. Don't use them. Like you
can
gotta
the
get the
ones with
fleece
down
lined
inside them
one.
and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like specifically if you go Carhartt and stuff like that, I know they got a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, I
there's
do.
other brands and stuff
All
like that too.
skills know something like that. They have a good brand. I forgot. I know there's a whole bunch of people that bought their the frog tops.
Okay.
Yeah, I would stop wearing frog tops. You can still wear them as long as you're like using a jacket and stuff. But like frog tops in general, like you got the BDU at the.
You got the
hands.
ripstop Cordura on the arms.
And then you got the cotton shirt. Cotton shirt, bad idea, especially in the wet weather. You're just gonna absorb it unless you're wearing a jacket on top or something like that. Then it's a good idea.
That's actually another good point. So
before you talk about that though, okay, so like you, and just touching up on what you said though,
Yeah.
if you're wearing that style of t-shirt, and for people who don't know or who are listening and stuff, like a hybrid tactical shirt, like you've got camo or you've got
an OTW, a battle shirt,
yeah, battle shirt, whatever
call it.
names you
Condors,
want to
yeah.
call it, and everything, because there's so many out there. Okay, the main point that Poi is trying to hit there and everything like that is you're gonna hit. We're humid. We're West Coast. No matter what, you're gonna sweat.
Yeah.
Even if it's
Sweat.
cold out there.
Even if it's raining and cold out,
You're
Humid
gonna sweat, you're
environment.
running around.
Yeah.
You need to think about that base layer, and this is where I talk about the moisture wicking, dry fit, Under Armour, whatever brand, company, clothing that you're wearing, you need to have something on there. Okay, so like even me last week, I already have my base layer on. I'm starting to rock an Under Armour shirt.
Yeah,
like-
and we just had like a gust of wind just come in just now. Just a little bit of that with wet clothing,
Thank
you're gonna
God. I
shiver.
thought the barn was haunted.
It is. Elliot's around somewhere.
Exactly like that, because if you get cold and stuff like that, as we talked about in the summertime, right? People can get heat exhaustion and stuff like that. Here, with the same thing, you can get possible chance of hypothermia. You know,
you can get
it's not-
hypothermic, yeah.
exactly. Maybe it's not a full-grown adult, that we're talking about. Maybe it's a little kid, right? Like, it can happen.
Dude,
so.
and the same thing with heat stroke and heat exhaustion, and everyone thinks it's like full blown, like you're turning blue or you're puking and everything. Like it's stages.
Yeah, exactly.
So like you don't have to be at full blown hypothermia to be like not thinking properly, not functioning correctly, and everything like that. Like,
I get concerned whenever I see, especially playing at autumn season here, is I see a kid shivering. I'm like, oh, good, he's shivering. And then he comes back from a game and he's not shivering anymore. Then I'm concerned because that means that his body's basically given up on shivering.
It's starting to
shivering is
go
a way
into
to
shock,
keep you
yeah.
warm.
Yeah.
Exactly. If people don't know.
Yeah. So
well, and then you
wet-
got the brave, crazy kids out there that's like in a t-shirt in December and he's like, I'm fine. And it's all like,
that's when you get a cold. So.
Well, that's what I'm
I won't
talking to your
lie,
parents.
I was there. I was that kid, -10 wearing shorts. Not anymore. Not possible.
Can't do it.
I don't got
I
that
can't do that
growing
either, yeah.
energy, whatever mitochondria energy you're getting right now, from growing. I don't got that no more.
science.
So another one to jump into now is jackets.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recommend it this season?
Yes, a certain style of jacket.
Well,
and
for
everything
being
like that.
prepared. So, like, it doesn't have to be on
Because
24/7.
I think for my standpoint, you don't really need a jacket. I would say go for that raincoat. Go for if it's raining, go for that raincoat. Go for that poncho, even right?
Poncho's a great idea.
Because that prevents rain from getting to your core area and to your
Exactly.
to soak up your clothing. Right? You need that rubber to stop
We
rain.
need the barrier, exactly.
You need that barrier.
Yeah.
Jackets, on the other hand, they're a little bit thicker. They're a little bit heavier. If you're gonna output a lot of energy, right? You're storing all that heat, and then you have to let it,
you have to let it vent out and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
So-
Well, you gotta have a proper ventilation.
you gotta have a
system.
proper ventilation system
Yeah.
for it. But for me, I could especially for for my weight and stuff like that. I'm a little bit thicker. I have a little bit more insulation. So for for big guys like me, I could go without the jacket. I could go with the windbreaker and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, you can get away with
sacrifice
it.
a little
But
more.
that's still considered a jacket. But
Yeah.
we gotta distinguish what a jacket is, right? A jacket is like full insulation inside, and it and a barrier on the outside to keep the wind and as well as like the rain out, right?
We definitely got
exactly.
levels of jackets, right? But
Well, I would say, like, if we're going to talk about our basic jacket kind of thing that's like all encompassing generalized, I would say it would have a hood, or it would have some sort of hood with
Yeah.
it. It would be able to be buttoned up or zipped up somehow. It has some
It's
sort
full
of
seal, yeah.
it has some sort of insulation, either it be thinsulate or whatever kind of thin membrane on the inside. And then it's I wouldn't call it waterproof because nothing is officially
No.
waterproof, but at least water permeable to some degree, right? So that you can at least like if you're standing out in some of our really bad rainfalls where it's coming down like a Las Vegas flash
Gives you
flood
time to
sometimes.
go underneath the hardened structure.
Yeah, well, it's like you're not like completely soaked for the rest of the day after that kind
Yeah,
of thing,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I've had some jackets where it doesn't matter. I was out there for 10 seconds, it's done. Mood set for the rest of the day.
yeah, exactly.
No,
yeah.
not like a regular Joe can't afford an expensive Arc'teryx. They're gonna
Well, you
buy
don't
something
have-
from Walmart or buy something
exactly.
from
You don't have to
North
go for
Face.
that, though.
Well, that's fine, exactly.
Yeah.
You don't need to spend hundreds of dollars to be able to
You
find
can,
something. that-
right? You can flex like Mac. It's no problem.
I got this
with
as a
that.
gift.
Don't lie to us.
I got this as a gift.
Okay.
Company logo, I can tell.
Still, it's an expensive jacket regardless.
Yeah.
Free
It's
or
a
not.
big flex.
It's a pretty big flex.
You see a dead bird on anything, it's a big flex.
Yeah,
The
you know,
Arc'teryx is coming out.
You're like hardcore flexing Vancouver right now.
Hello.
But anyways, so you can get stuff as nice as what Mac's wearing.
So
and
what
whatnot,
is your recommendation for jackets then? Because because I would say that is the most important for people in Vancouver to use because of the fact that it's a temperate weather, it's wet, it's gonna be cold, wet and cold. If it gets wet and if you get wet and cold, then you're cold to the bone.
Yeah.
It's different from let's say back east when it's like dry cold or something like that. Right, dry cold is like, I'll just put like something to block the wind, block to
we're talking
and
about
then
interior
full
east.
insulation.
Yeah, not like east coast.
No,
because we know
if-
it's bad over there, guys.
Yeah, because if you get wet here and then it's cold and you get that wind,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a bad time regardless. Over there, it's different. You just put on layers, and you prevent that wind from coming in, and you just preventing your body heat from like coming
just
out.
escaping, but you get it sapped. It's literally like you're being touched and you're losing all your energy.
It's like a Dementor.
Oh,
It's just
exactly.
Yeah, you're just getting drained right away. So
Oh,
it's the
man.
same for airsoft here, right? Like
Exactly.
you're exerting a lot of like energy, your heat's gonna get like zapped out of you. The only way you're gonna get more heat is by exerting more energy, but you're getting wet at the same time because of the fact that you're running through like wet
And
you know,
sweating,
trees,
and sweating, right?
yeah,
There's
and
a
you're
lot of
sweating. So
Well, and before even these rainy months, right? Like before where it gets just before I would call it like during the August months and stuff like that, where it's still like warm sort of right throughout most of the day, but then it gets colder because the sun's down kind of thing. So it's the same thing when I was playing in those kinds of weathers, last year and stuff
Even
like
the
that.
night games are a little chilly.
Yeah, well, but like I'm saying, right? Like even last year in those kinds of weathers, and I'm playing and like that and stuff like that. After you stop, right? Like you guys are saying, I'm wearing like that cotton battle shirt or whatever it is,
And
the
it's
hybrid
just-
tactical
yeah,
shirt, right? And
It's
I'm
cold.
feeling it,
Well,
right?
it
My
zaps you.
even if you have it zipped up,
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
Because
I
the
feel
moisture isn't
everything.
going
So it's just
anywhere.
like, I would say, you start changing your kit to, instead of wearing like those battle shirts or the combat tops or whatever it is,
Frog tops,
the
yeah.
frog tops, you start getting into like, the full BDU
Yep.
dress, like as like first stage kind of thing for like playing and stuff, right? And if you want to be more protected, I would say, go with the poncho thing, because you can still like, playability wise, if we're talking airsoft, right?
Well, and
like guys like, for instance, Mason's kit, right? Like as an example, right? Because he's super minimalist, he can still get away with his super minimalist kit. Just
But
throwing
wear a
poncho
jacket on top or
Or
poncho,
a
yeah.
jacket or a sweater,
exactly.
and this is what I'm saying too, right? It comes down to everyone's personal choices too. If you're gonna build off something kit related, then go ahead. Obviously, like if you're trying to find something with matching camouflage, a poncho with matching camouflage, maybe just a solid tone or something like that, something that's gonna get you through and still have that tactical look. Pat on the back to you.
Yeah,
right?
my recommendation for like getting gear for that is if you're gonna get a jacket and you're gonna put stuff on top, like over, like if you're gonna put your jacket over your gear, get something that's like that's like twice a size of you.
An oversized jacket.
Oversized
Are you
jacket.
talking about putting your jacket over the gear,
Yeah,
or
Like,
putting
if you were gonna do that
There are some
style.
people
Okay.
who put a jacket on first and then putting
Yeah,
their
because
gear
that's
on.
what I would do. I would do that.
Yeah, for me it's the other way around. I'll get
Really?
an oversized jacket and put it on with my gear on, like like a JPC or something, like
I
a jumbo
see,
plate
you're
So
right.
I
carrier.
only do that
Service.
at work.
Really?
So for me,
Backwards for you.
Well, just because like with airsoft, I want all my equipment accessible. But for me, as my day job in a carpenter situation, I have a full body harness, which my pouches are attached to. So if I wear my jacket underneath, it just kind of really encumbers my movement and everything like that. So what I'll do is I'll wear it over top of my harness, and then that way the rain actually runs off my jacket and not into my pouch.
See, I'm the same way because if I'm wearing like a rainproof gear stuff, I'll put all my gear first and then put my my rainproof jacket on, or a jacket in general. I'll just put that on, or my poncho on, right? And then that like anything that comes up to me, like rain, if I'm going through like the forest and I'm hitting all those branches and trees with all the wet stuff in it, it'll just hit my jacket and then run down and not hit my gear. I don't know. I guess I like my gear better than my jacket getting wet, I guess. Yeah, because I'd rather have my jacket or my rainproof stuff get wet first than
Well,
my
of course,
gear.
it's your first line of defense for that kind of situation.
it makes
Yeah,
sense.
because what happens is like like your like what is it, like 5,000 Condor or whatever it is. Once you get water in it, it starts to weigh down on you.
Yeah,
and
it
it gets
gets
it
heavy.
gets heavy.
It's already heavy by itself.
Yeah.
Right. And
The
then,
material, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and
by adding
then
water, it just makes it a little bit heavier.
Some of it has like, especially for me who's had gear for so long, if you have all that stuff in rain, especially like the buttons and stuff, like the metallic stuff,
Rust.
if you have it in
start
rain,
rusting.
it'll start rusting. It'll start bleeding through like your
fabric
the
and
fabric
everything,
and stuff
yeah.
like that, and then. Also on top of that, the fabric gets weak as well because
Yeah.
it's been stretched out and like
Exactly.
Put under stress,
put under
like,
stress in it, as well as like it's been heated up again,
Yeah.
and stuff
I
like
had an
that does
experience like that.
it does tend to wear it out.
That's why I don't
over
have a
time.
Condor plate carrier anymore, because I ran that thing like through the ground.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mine as well.
Yeah, and
it's
you
exactly
want to
the
know
same
why
thing.
you buy expensive gear? That's why
'Cause it holds out.
you're hitting the elements at that point.
Well, 'cause,
if you're
like-
just doing a standard skirmish every weekend and don't come out for rain, no
Yeah.
problem. Get the cheap gear.
Exactly.
If you're coming out here like every day, rain or shine or snow, right?
Well, if you're one of the heavy hitters and everything like that, it's definitely becomes more of like an investment standpoint
Yeah.
than so much as just a purchase.
With that,
Because
and also those guys guys also get into that whole aspect of they're doing it for a dual purpose, right? Like
multi-purpose.
you start
'cause,
seeing guys
you
start
know,
diversifying away from like camo specifically, and then they start going into more of like the OD, kind of like the single tone setups or the dual tone.
Yeah,
setups
it's
and
more
stuff like that,
acceptable.
just because they can.
It's more
wear
acceptable to wear it outside. Remember what we were
Exactly.
talking about in a camo section, right?
Well, I'm not wearing my
there's
Cat
nothing
Pat
wrong with
jacket
that, right?
to the grocery
Because
store.
Exactly, in these months, right? Like for instance, specifically something like this, right? It's OD and stuff like that. Yeah, you might see me really easily in the summertime or whatever it is, but once everything gets wet, once you introduce rain, don't matter.
The terrain changes.
Everything looks the same after that.
Exactly.
Like, let's be honest.
It just becomes a darker shade of it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
someone tries to tell me that they can see more clearly in the rain
That
and
desert
stuff like
boots
that,
becomes a coyote brown. No, not even a coyote, a dark brown.
Yeah,
The earth brown.
like it gets ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So jackets, very important. The one thing I didn't put down is pants. From my experience with pants, especially with hiking and stuff, like you gotta protect your core area first.
100%.
Right? Because that is where you shiver the most. So your legs and stuff like that, you're doing a lot of motion, so you want like. For me, it didn't really matter as much. As long as you get like rain wicking stuff, that's all there is to it. But you don't have to put a lot of insulation on your legs unless you're like sleeping at night or something in the field or something like that.
Well, it's the same thing like Max said too earlier. It's like Under Armour base layer kind of thing. You can still get like the
Yeah.
pants or the
A compression
or the
pants?
or the long johns or whatever.
Yeah.
it
You
is.
can, yeah. If you want to rock long johns, no one's gonna judge you because we're Canadian and
Yeah.
we all. I know everyone's gone snowboarding or skiing. If you haven't, I'm sorry. You should get on that.
There's nothing wrong with being comfortable. You know,
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
That's
you
what it
know,
is,
there's
setting
there might be
yourself
some
up for
people
comfort.
out there, you know, who are just like, oh, you know, why are you wearing that? It's like, bro, I like playing in comfort. Nothing wrong with that.
Right, and then this is also coming to the point where it's like, you know, like we are suggesting things for our personal standpoint because, like, for me, I'm gonna tell someone to wear long sleeve pants, right, or pants,
Pants, yeah.
right. Don't wear shorts right now unless you really want to.
Or kilt. We know people with kilts.
I do know a guy.
We'll have to ask him next
What his
if he's
opinion
gonna
is.
wear pants
If
now.
he's got,
I
yeah,
think
he's
he's gonna
like,
fight
don't
the
worry,
system."
boys, I've got the Under Armour on underneath.
Yeah, okay.
He does not talk like that. I'm sorry. You know who you are. But no, so what I was just trying to say is definitely like long sleeves, moisture wicking, a base layer. You want to kind of build up from the ground up and everything. So obviously, like you're saying, keep your core warm because your extremities definitely lose a lot of heat. But your core, if your core is the one that's cold, then that's when you really start to.
Yeah. For me, that is the most important part is the core itself. So that's why jacket, under layer, and then a mid section. You got outer layer, middle, and then you got your base.
Yeah.
Well,
And
also,
for pants, not so important for me. You're gonna get cold. You're
gonna get wet.
You're gonna get wet. But at the same time, your feet is the most important one.
Well,
right.
I-
So
I
that's
would
why
also
like
say-
you got this layer of like you got your top layer all covered. Your legs not so much. It doesn't matter. You're gonna get cold. You're gonna run through stuff, and then your boots most important. Right. So that's my level of protection right there.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna say that like your footwear is definitely one of the most important decisions for this coming months. You know, stuff like that is and for me it's
well, specifically at Panther, like I don't know about some of the other fields and stuff like that, just because I haven't played at too many of the other fields during the rainy season and stuff like that. Like because with Panthers, I've been here for
biggest.
Well, with that too, but just with being at Panther for all season, all the time, it's very easy to see that, and I would definitely say.
Elliot told me to say that.
What?
We're the only field. Why are you discussing other fields? We understand that there are other fields.
no, I'm just kidding around. But we're the best.
Well, I'm just saying though, right? It's like it's something that you got to watch out for.
Right, no,
think
and it
about.
definitely comes down to like like when we prepare to go to like Milsons and stuff like that. You're definitely prepping for the AO that
Yeah,
you're going
and
to.
in Milsims, what's the first thing they like bold and red right
Oh,
away?
well, they're mandatory
Cold
items.
weather
Look,
gear.
I always
seriously,
laugh
if
when
you
people
ever
say that
plan
they
to-
forget.
Like if you're gonna justify it actually, and you don't have it, and you plan to go to events. Newsflash: you're not going to be able to go to those events without those items because they're mandatory. So, might as well pick them up and. Use them
it
for
is
your
not
skirmishes.
mandatory for us to pick on people here with like no cold weather gear, but we're just recommending you
What are you
that
talking
you
about?
bring.
We are going to pick on them if we see them because
No,
we
no,
don't.
no,
We care. We
no.
care about them.
No, okay, look, because look, if some kid justifies to me, or not even a kid, if some person, right, justifies to me that they want to run around with their minimalist kit or whatever kit that they're running, right, and they want to rock like a regular Carhartt sweater or some Nike sweater, whatever they got, right, all I'm gonna ask them is like, do
Are
you have a
okay?
Well, that might be question 1. Question 2 might be like, hey, do you have a change of clothes and everything like that? Question 3 is, fire season or fire ban season's kind of over now, right? So Gord's always going to have that fire cooking. That's a great place to warm up.
Did you say 3? Did you say 3 already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so 4 would be hand warmers at the armory.
Hand warmers available at the armory. But yeah, and it comes down to preparing for what you're going to deal with, and a skirmish is just weekend airsoft, right, is just like a way smaller scale for like what we Milsim nerds prepare for and everything like that. We're preparing for every worst possible case scenario, and then for a skirmish possibility, you're kind of preparing for every scenario of that day. So if you guys are listening and made it this far, it's like definitely a lot of good information here, and I know that there's going to be a lot of people chiming in on the
giving
comments.
it to you, yes. But if you're watching this, you also pass along to other people who are interested in joining at this season as well, because of the fact that they're gonna come in there and they're just gonna have they're gonna think it's like, oh, it's just a regular paintball game or whatever, right? They're just gonna jump in for a couple hours. Yeah, it's gonna drain and tax on them a lot. Like when they're wet, they're not having fun, and they're not having fun, they're not having a good time.
Well, and that's what I mean. Like, I definitely want to know, because our community base is quite large. So, seriously, guys, if you're listening to this, got this far, I want you to put into the comments what your setup is for
this kind of weather.
This weather
what's
coming
your
up.
experiences with this weather, and how do you deal with it? Because
we want to hear your clothing.
Yeah, well, we explained our reasoning and what we do in this situation and stuff. So
yeah, because if you guys want to hear a worst case scenario, okay, my very first Milsim West, I underprepared. I didn't have enough warm weather gear, so when we were at steps,
warm weather? Do you mean cold weather? Because
yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry, I didn't have enough clothes to keep me warm. Thank you for correcting me.
I'm just saying, just so that people don't get confused.
No, sorry. Okay, so let me
Did
start
you
that
just
over
take
again.
off layers?
I'm standing there on the line naked.
No,
that was not the case. I was literally wearing every single piece of clothing that I had in my backpack.
It does get cold, and it sucks once you got cold, right?
And it was like 35 to 40 degree, 35 degree heat
in the morning, and
even at 9 o'clock. Remember? Right, but then when we got in, and then we rocked, and then we started to set up our fob,
but then the temperature dropped by 10 to 15 degrees.
Then it dropped, and then that's when, that's when I was on guard duty my first year, and I was online, and I remember I was sitting there, and my gun is just shaking because I was
It's when you have no muscle activities, your body tends to
starts zapping the heat.
Well, if you don't have that insulation, you're sapped, especially if you're on the ground. Like for anyone who's it's, I guess, specifically in the Milsim sense, right? If you're posted up on a thing and you don't have like a thermal mat or a climate mat or anything like that to make that layer, the ground is actually the worst because it'll just take it from you, right? You could have all this nice clothing and all this nice layer on and stuff like that, but still the ground will take everything away from you. So you have to have that barrier too.
Fleece is your best friend at that point, especially in the cold, and then some sort of wind, what is it?
A wind layer,
Exactly. But get to the meat of that story that you're talking about, because what happened when you were that unprepared?
You're
gonna have to tell them, because what happens?
Let's hear it.
No, it was cool.
When you're that unprepared?
Hey, my bro was just as unprepared, and I'm not talking you. Okay,
I know. I was not your bro in this situation.
You were my bro. You were about 20 meters away.
I know, but I was your bro.
He was on another section of the line.
I was his bro who came prepared.
No, you didn't, dude. You were shaking too.
I was fine.
No, you weren't.
I was in my
Stop
snowpack.
lying to the camera.
All I hear is excuses. All I hear is excuses from both of you. Just tell the story.
All I'm saying is I underprepared. It's probably about 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that. I'm on watch, and basically the guy next to me, I'll leave his name out. People will probably guess it though. So he's iron deficient, so he can't retain cold very well and everything, and he underprepared, so he's got every layer in his backpack on and everything. So basically, we got paired on watch and everything, so we just cuddled. We just cuddled on the line. That's
how you gotta do what you gotta do.
Hey, so my big question is, who was the big spoon?
He was. I was holding the gun.
Okay, all right then. So, worst case scenario
Penguin
at an event.
Penguins.
Yep, just huddle up.
Huddle up.
Which is actually a real tip advice. I'm not gonna lie.
That's real world.
That's real world advice. Yeah.
Let's say if you weren't prepared and that happened. Time to cuddle up. There's enough room in the sleeping bag,
Exactly.
boys.
It's just like if I feel a poke in the back, I better be getting dinner the next day. Like, you know? Which, by the way, I still owe you guys dinner.
That is true.
But yeah, you know, like the cold definitely, you know, a lot of people take it for granted and stuff like that. Just like the heat, you know, people take the weather for granted, or not for granted. Sorry, they just kind of they don't think about it as much as they should.
Here's the deal. You're coming out here to exert a lot of energy. You're coming out here to roll in the environment that you're in here. And you think that regular clothing will help you. You need to prepare for that, you know, that cold, that wet that's gonna come up, and as well as the aftermath of it. Because once you're done playing here, yeah, you're gonna get wet. Yeah, you're gonna get cold. But have extra have extra clothings afterward.
Now you're going home.
Yeah, you're going home.
Well, exactly. So we've talked about jackets, pants, and you know, the other thing too for me is like headwear and gloves, because like just as much as you know, footwear, pants, jackets, and all that are important.
Your face gets
cold.
cold.
People forget, right? And especially in the wintertime, you lose most of your heat from your head if it's not covered.
That's an extremity right there.
Extremities are definitely where you're losing
especially
your
for
heat.
people who've gotten their hair cut recently and stuff like that. You
Like
know, you'll feel
Poi.
it.
Poi, you look great.
Yeah.
I really love your
and
look.
anyone who's actually gotten their hair cut recently, you'll notice it right away.
ears, man.
You're gonna feel
Yeah.
a huge, because your body's not used to it, right? And you can feel all your heat.
And
disappear.
another thing that definitely comes with the cold is the BB pain.
Ooh.
A lot of people
Actually, yeah,
don't
let's talk about
realize
it.
that.
Wait. No.
Let's talk about that a little
Let's dive into that.
No,
So
but
recently,
depends on what you're talking about, right? When you're wearing a jacket, that dude is not gonna feel it.
no,
So
exactly.
to an extent though, right? Because it always comes down to what person's gun is tuned to what setting or whatever, how far I'm shooting at you and stuff like that. Like you remember like about a month ago or whatever when I got shot in the neck, right?
Yeah.
That was from 20 feet away. And it broke my skin and I was bleeding and everything like that, right? And people thought that I got shot from like a foot away, right? And it was just, no, it was, you know, like it's getting cold now, right? Your skin, like it's bare skin, it's a sensitive area and stuff like that. So I'm just talking like for everything in general, right? Like, you know, your side, your squishy parts, you know, where people get you on the side and the kidney shots, right? Those ones already hurt in the normal weather, right? It's getting cold. Gonna hurt a little more now.
Sting more.
Yeah, it's gonna sting more now. So that's just something
it's
that
also like a double thing where if the dude's wearing a ton of layers, they're not gonna feel it. So I would expect to see a lot of people
a
sort of
gray
like,
area.
yeah, it's a gray area at that point.
It's
We're gonna be
hard.
like, they're gonna start yelling at people. But good thing it's not hot because tempers don't flare, and you know.
Well, so this is kind of where we.
But that also comes up to tempers do flare when you're wet and cold.
That too.
You get
exactly.
cranky.
When
Yeah.
you get cranky and you get uncomfortable, it's about being, you know, comfortable and
Comfort,
stuff. And that's another point too about with guys layering improperly, right? Because again, like for example, Mac, right? He can stay warm wearing that one layer. Obviously, it's Arc'teryx, so it's expensive, and that's why it's ability to do that. But there are other brands, you know, that are similar to that, right? And he doesn't have to wear something big and puffy. You know, if I shot him with a BB gun, he'd probably feel it.
I'm feeling everything. This is so thin.
Yeah, right.
But it's very warm.
But for me,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for guys like you, or like, you know, me wearing this, it's more, it's thicker. I can tell you right now, this is already thicker. So if I were to get shot already, you know, if someone was shooting me between 2.5s all the way up to 3s, maybe, it's probably going to take, you know, a couple shots for me to notice it. I might not notice it first shot, kind of thing, right? So definitely, that's gonna play into it.
what's the rule here? When in doubt, send more his way.
Always double tap, guys. Always double tap.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I don't know
'cause-
about you guys, but I try to avoid now doing the whole single shot kind of thing, because I feel like people start to register it. Like they'll hear the first one, they'll register it, you know, subconsciously or automatically. But if they don't hear that second confirmation, usually I see people turn away, and that's why, like for me, when I'm gonna shoot guys, usually I go for double tap. So I just go like bang bang, and usually, you know, boop, boop.
I mean, sometimes you try and be nice, like when you get the drop on a person or something. But I've had the moments where I've put one shot in and like.
Be nice. This is Airsoft. You're going to get shot and you're going to get hit. You have to get used to it.
No, exactly. I know.
Like-
But you know the people that are like, "Oh, it's one shot to kill me." It's like, yeah, but you didn't put your hand up till the fourth one. Like,
If
right?
it was one shot to kill people, ammo would be a lot more expensive. I'm just saying, guys.
That is true.
Yeah, but you know, obviously, yeah, colder weather means thicker boys. Yeah, so like it's gonna come. It's gonna be a gray area. It's gonna be something that we're gonna be dealing with.
Also hides my rolls, by the way.
But I won't lie, so depending on what some guys wear and stuff like that, you can hear a more audible thwack.
Yeah.
Right? You know, there's some guys that I've seen, they're wearing some of the thicker layers, but if I hit them a couple times, you can hear the whack whack, and usually they're not bad.
Yeah, if you're wearing more rainproof gear, you're going to hear the whack. If you're wearing a lot of cotton, which I don't recommend.
100% don't recommend.
You're not going to hear it. You're so unless it's like super wet.
You're not going to hear what?
You're not going to hear that thwack. Right? You're going to hear a
Can we get that on the soundboard eventually? Whack whack.
What?
What are you doing? Whack whack.
Yeah.
Like really crazy comment. Whack, whack.
Another one I don't recommend actually in cold weather is a lot of people tend to wear sweaters out there. It's great
Yes
for
and no.
everyday use. It's great when it's not raining. Not so great when you go in there and then all of a sudden your cotton sweater gets wet.
So if they have a change and they're one of those like, tough hombres that want to like kind of like muscle through it and they don't care and then they'll just survive and then change into their dry sweater, pat on the back, because like there are times where I'm at work and I have about 4 sweaters back in my cubby and I'll change through my sweaters throughout the day just because wearing all that heavy rain gear can really encumber your movement, right? And it's like you want to be able to be mobile, you want to be able to, maneuver and stuff like that. So like, for me, that goes from like a work perspective, being functional at work, and then also when I look at it as an airsoft perspective, is being functional while playing, right?
So moving on there from like headgear and stuff like that. So like for you guys, would you recommend like people wearing gloves and stuff like that too?
Oh, heck
like,
yeah.
Definitely.
Right, because it comes down to like the
Definitely.
pain threshold too, right? And I don't know about you guys, but
I said cold, right?
Well,
Yeah.
as it gets colder, I don't. Again, same thing. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but for me, as it gets colder, my fingers get slower, and it doesn't get to the point where it's painful, like my dad and stuff like that. But like it gets, actually, you can visually see your hands moving slower, and so if you want to be one of those guys with the super fast trigger response, you're gonna keep those babies warm.
Yeah, don't cut that knuckle off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and your gloves are gonna get wet regardless. There's no combating unless you got like neoprene or something.
Well, those ones are
that
sweet.
Exactly.
Because those are
but
divers
they're
gloves.
also like really thick.
They're really,
Yeah,
really thick,
and
yeah.
you're getting wet.
That's when
and
you
you're
get
still
like
getting wet.
that's when you get like guns that have the nice those brands and stuff. You switch over the glove trigger area, and then you're like, oh, I can fit through now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. No matter what, the gloves are going to get wet kind of thing, but you want to keep yourself protected regardless. And you want to keep yourself warm, like, winter liner kind of gloves and stuff like that.
Exactly. And then even if you don't have winter gloves, just anything is better than a cold, like a BB against cold skin. Cold bare skin, like that's when you're going to have skin break. That's when you're going to have bleeding. That's when you're going to have like, lots of pain and bruising and stuff like that, especially on the hands. Like, doesn't matter what time of the year it is. I absolutely it makes me cringe just thinking about it because I know how painful it is getting schwacked on the knuckle or on the back of the hand or on
I'm used to it at this
on
point.
a fingertip, but it still hurts though, right?
Yeah, it does.
I'll register it, and I'll keep going.
Oh, I count
But,
it. Like I'm out. I don't want to get shot more.
It does hurt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it does.
If anyone hits me on the hand, I'm telling you what, I'm not going to try and be that tough guy.
You're not gonna call gun hit.
Oh no.
No. I'm calling hit. That hurts.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
hurts,
and
man.
if you do,
I hate it when you get into the pistol battles too, when you're super up close to each other, and then
I
got shot.
First of all, I'm not gonna get into a pistol battle because you guys rely on your second. We already talked about this. You guys rely on your secondary so much. For me, not so much. I'll be like, my rifle's out, whatever. I'm out. I don't have any ammo. I'm out. I'm not using my pistol. No, no thanks.
Yeah.
First of all, gas doesn't work very well in the cold.
Yeah, so I guess your month's coming to an end.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, definitely. And I'd like to get into a deeper dive on like equipment, for these coming months for sure. Just because it's a pretty detailed, at least in my opinion, topic to get into. Probably another hour-long conversation or something like that. I don't know about the rest of you guys.
Yeah, can your AEG survive the rain?
Oh gosh, yeah,
Oh
next
yeah, here we go.
episode.
We'll dive into that because there's already been a lot of videos
right now?
on that.
Okay, diving into that now. No.
Yeah, well, exactly.
We need to extend this.
Okay.
We'll hit record on the next, in an hour from now,
Oh yeah, exactly.
so we have content later.
Pre-recorded.
I think we kind of went through that pretty well, with just staying warm, making sure we obviously can get more detailed as it goes on with the ongoing weather changes and stuff like that. I don't know about you guys, but I feel this year for fall and winter or whatever it is, it's going to be pretty high precipitation levels.
It's gonna be a wet one.
This
always.
last year was a pretty
always
dry one.
It's always been like
And
it doesn't
the year
matter if
before
it's
that was a little dry too when it came to like the precipitation fall and stuff. So
Well,
I'm thinking
you guys got hit pretty hard with snow. I came back from Mexico and there was like a foot and a half of snow.
Yeah, last year there was, but I feel like it's coming.
That's our winter episode, guys. We're only in autumn.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Exactly.
Leaves fall.
As far as like gear goes, let's dive into tactical gear and stuff. What are the things that you're gonna see? We were just talking about like here comes the plate carriers again. Yeah,
Definitely.
it keeps you warm.
Well,
keeps
keep you warmer. Definitely.
Yeah,
You're gonna
like
start
a
seeing,
lot of the thicker, heavier gears coming
More
out.
body
Yeah.
coverage and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
and the same thing like you said earlier, right? You want to cover your soft bits and stuff like that. So guys are gonna wear like the full cage protectors and stuff. There'll still be guys wearing the chest rigs.
You also gotta watch out for that because if you are wearing all that gear, you're also insulating yourself a lot. You're also exerting a lot of energy, thus creating a lot of heat.
That's true.
There goes your goggles. You're
Yeah,
fogging up.
you're gonna
Well, so
fog up.
fog is
Oh my
definitely
god!
gonna be an
coming.
And
issue.
this
Definitely.
season, it
Yeah.
is the worst
Well, and it's
because
even
it
worse
doesn't
for us.
matter. Like when you've stopped, and then all that body heat's generating, and then it's just you're just getting that fog
Yeah,
lens.
well, you start
You're-
condensating for sure, and that's the worst part. Is it's humid.
There's even if you have shooters goggles like I do or glasses. It's
my
it's
M-frames will fog
nonstop.
right up. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
well,
that's why I'm
so
so
in this
glad I have my
situation,
If
I
you
don't
guys
know
know
about-
any like sort of way to combat that, I haven't had any luck throughout my
Well, you need to try my anti-fog.
Okay.
Tried and true.
Actually, yeah, you haven't tried it.
Yeah,
for
you
We're
haven't
gonna
tried
have
Yeah.
to,
Well,
we're gonna
we
have to
can-
test this out.
Yeah,
we can
you-
try
you
The
it.
said
entire
it.
podcast knows about this
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, you
Consider-
send it for a road test.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send Poi for
Yeah,
a mile-long run.
Yeah, you're a pretty thick boy, so we could definitely test you out with it.
Yeah, I'll have a picture on the bottle.
But besides like anti-fog and stuff
Tested,
like that,
proven
right?
by me.
I guess another option for situations like that could be like the X-Fog system.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of good reviews on it from people.
Yep.
I would definitely like to get my hands on it personally, but I just haven't been able to get the chance and stuff like that. But that's another option for people. I know some more.
That's the one that has the tubes.
It
that
has the tubes,
blow,
yeah.
Right. So okay. So just giving it a description, if anyone doesn't know, it's like it's a counterweight to your helmet or whatever.
That
head
has a fan
system.
at the back.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a fan and it has PVC or rubberized tubes that run along the side of your head.
You can put them however you like, kind of thing. But
Configure it.
the point is that they blow a jet stream of air,
Of cold air.
just a jet stream of air onto the lenses.
It's like
themselves.
your car
So
windshield
it's like,
blower.
Yeah, exactly. It's like acting like your car. And for other people who are more handy, I know there's guys out there like if you don't want to pay for, I think the X-Fog's like 75 pounds or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but. For handy guys out there, get yourself a little fan, and same thing. Hook up a hose or whatever it is and use that. I've seen a couple guys, be pretty smart and use that as an option.
Or you can get the O2 necklace fan available at the Armory.
Nice. I've also seen some options where people put like the magnets on one
Ooh,
side.
scuba magnets.
Yeah.
Are they called scuba magnets or are
They're-
they called fish tank magnets?
No,
I can't
they're
remember.
diver's magnets. So you put them on the inside of your
So, yeah,
diver's
okay,
mask,
yeah.
and it's a magnet on two sides of your
Yeah.
lens. So because you can't take your mask off in the ocean,
Okay.
right?
I thought
if
it was
you
a
were-
fish tank cleaning thing.
I don't know if it's a fish tank
No,
thing, but
I've seen them on divers.
It's divers
Yeah.
masks. I've seen it mostly on divers masks.
Okay,
I know a couple of guys on the field that actually
I'm
have
thinking
those.
that it kind of originated from cleaning a fish tank, and then guys use it.
Maybe it
for
did. I
that,
don't know.
maybe.
I mean, were you cleaning fog or cleaning
Well,
algae?
The algae.
I don't think we're cleaning algae for
I
our
feel, I
side.
feel like those are-
I'm just saying.
You're
yeah.
pretty
I feel like that's a different
bad
type
if
of
you're getting
magnet.
algae from airsoft.
Maybe I'm reaching in the theory here. I'm sorry, guys.
maybe that was like its intended purpose, and then the
That's what I'm
diver
trying to
was just
get
like,
at.
"Oh wow."
That's what I'm trying to get across. It's like like definitely. I've seen a couple guys. Who
Yeah, but
use it, and
it's pretty cool though how they
Well,
do
I mean, you
it. But
could
that's
always
still
not wear
not
any iPro.
no.
What?
No, get out.
Wait, what did you just suggest?
Okay, I'm sorry. Just because sometimes I'm just shocked at the amount of people that take their iPro off on the field. I'm just fogging.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, we
it's
shut
so
that-
common.
We shut that
It
down
is.
right away.
It's going to become a lot more
Yeah,
common.
like if
Yeah.
anyone wants to see me angry, and I mean like pissed, take your iPro off in the field.
Yeah.
Usually I'm a pretty nice guy and stuff
I
like
try
that.
to be.
But no apology to the guy last week. Like, don't ever do that in front of me.
Oh, I heard about that. That was
Yeah, it was one of the renters, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't think he was a renter, but
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Last week, yes, I did notice it because I saw 2 people take it off before the netting and stuff like that.
Yeah,
well, and then I'm not gonna lie, I had a guy try and switch it out in front of me, and I was just like, "Are you kidding me, bro?
You're in the middle of a game.
This is not for comfort."
corner fog check.
Like, you're putting those aviators back in your pocket.
Yeah.
And you're playing with the rated iPro.
Yeah.
Wait, aviators? What
Really?
the heck?
Oh yeah, well because he wanted, I don't know, maybe he wanted to do it for a photo or whatever. It didn't matter. Like,
It's like not
that's
happening.
not okay.
Yeah, not happening.
Yeah.
No.
Moving on though.
So yes, fogging is a big issue in autumn season because it like, you know, just like our bodies, it's not regulating it like, you know.
It's a constant battle. But yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely magnifies a lot more when you're getting into the wetter months.
Well, I guess the other thing too is like one of the bonuses in the summertime, right? Is that if it's getting hot, you just keep taking layers off. Mind you, there is a point where you have to stop, right?
Please. Please.
But in the wintertime, right, you start layering up and stuff like that, right? Like
Skins
the more
game,
layers,
let's go.
The more layers you put on and stuff like that. And if you do it improperly, then you're going to exert yourself too much, like you guys are saying, and then boom.
All jokes aside, I just want to know who would be down for a pickup pistols game of shirts versus skins.
At this weather. Make sure you do it at the very end.
December.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like
Everyone's calling their
I
hits.
think the only way to entice people to do that is to have like a prize. I would love to see it done.
Your
though.
prize, you jump into like a hot sauna or something like that.
No, I just do like a cash prize and then be free for all. Start out in the field and it's like Rambo fucking Predator style. Like,
Start out all PUBG like, you know, you drive everyone in, they have nothing, literally.
your gun has been hidden around this part. Go.
So any other gear recommendation that you would advise people other than like, you know, their chest rigs, first lines, helmet? Do you still recommend people wear helmets? I mean, it's okay. You just get really sweaty in that helmet.
Yes and no.
No, I don't suggest helmets really. Just
Because you just fog up even
no,
more.
and I'll tell you why yes.
Okay, my reason for no comes down to the sweat factor,
Mm-hmm.
right? Most people don't wear sweatbands. Most of the time, you don't have room for sweatbands, and once you like, especially if you're playing, and this comes down to the fact of people messing with their iPro, right? And it comes from my
Condensation.
experience too, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe you get away with it with your shooting glasses. Not saying you should do this, but sometimes you can get away with it. But with goggles or whatever it is, like some of those other guys, right? I've seen it, right? It's sweaty, it starts getting down, it starts burning your eyes, and then they start playing the stupid card where they start risking it and, you know, start trying to rub it out and stuff like that, which would help, you know, those fish tank cleaning or the diver
magnets, yeah.
Those would definitely help alleviate those kinds of situations.
Full seal goggles, I definitely recommend those.
Yeah.
But okay, so is that all you had for
So
for helmets?
that's my point. Is that like
Okay.
you know, that comes down.
It's just condensation at that point. Like you're getting a lot of like.
So I get that
Yeah.
standpoint. My standpoint on helmets and airsoft will forever be recommended, just because the amount of times I have fallen, slipped, tripped, whatever, and gone head first into something, my helmet has saved me.
So that bump helmet will save you at these
Like
times.
I know it's not a real helmet or
It's a bump helmet for
but
us, yeah.
Yeah, you know, like for me, like it's not a ballistic helmet, but it is a helmet, and it has stopped me from, you know, when I've slipped on things and gone headfirst into a tree, or I've fallen on the ground, or anything else, you know. So first line for me is a safety factor.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a helmet, whatever the months, just because for me, I A, don't like getting shot in the head, and then B, if I trip and fall and everything like that, my head is pretty much protected, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, thirdly from that, there are YouTubers out there and stuff like that. People want to mount their action cams and everything like that. And, you know, again, a helmet is a really good standpoint or place to do it from and everything like that.
Yeah, there's a couple options. Yeah, if you get like the Ops Core Repro kind of things or whatever it is, you can put them on the arc rails, or you can put them right on the NVG mount.
There's tons of configurations
exactly,
for it
for
and
the
everything like
YouTuber
that. But
guys
no
and
matter
stuff
what,
like
for
that,
me,
yeah.
my personal standpoint is I'm
Just
always going to tell someone to
Make
get a
sure you get good ventilation out of that helmet
Okay,
because
so you're specifically saying like
Yeah,
A
So
real
for-
okay, so I have a ballistic fast helmet.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my repro. So I don't have any vents in the top. So it does get a little sticky, hot sometimes.
Yeah.
But so to negate that, like you were saying and stuff like that, because I do have that sweat issue. But what I do is I either wear a balaclava, one of those tube socks and everything like that. I wear a sweatband because yes, exactly. Like sweating is a problem, and if you have your head is expelling so much heat and everything like that, and if you have sweat coming down to your eyes are one of the biggest things.
If you're also
for
wearing a
airsoft.
balaclava, you're also like risking your head being cold because of the fact that it is just like your entire balaclava is soaking wet.
Yeah.
Yes and no, because I mean,
It depends on the material.
It depends,
I've
yeah.
got some really nice moisture wicking balaclavas where it saps it right off, and I'm
If
good.
you're
have
wearing full
some
cotton
really nice-
ones or whatever like that, yeah, not a good idea.
So at the Armory, we do have some winter balaclavas. So those ones are thicker, made out of like
those
moisture
are the
wick-
fleece ones.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
they're
they should
made
be
of-
good, yeah.
No, they're great.
They're still gonna get soaking wet.
Oh, 100%.
You put a helmet on it, yeah.
Yeah, but you're going to retain that body heat,
Yeah.
And
Pushes it away from you,
Opposed to having like a cotton.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like wool. You're still warm even if it's wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I wear wool socks.
Yeah.
Because the
That's why I wear
second my
wool
feet
socks,
get
too.
wet, and then if they get cold, my day goes down.
Yeah.
So
Well, comfort. Yeah. Main point is comfort, right?
Yeah. So for gear wise, I think we pretty much covered it.
yeah, I mean, it's getting cold.
Yeah, it's getting cold. Yeah. One last thing, it's also getting cold, but also mind you that autumn also brings up the like the earlier nights now.
Yeah. The
So
sun does
it
go
is
down.
getting dark out there. Also, the fact that it is wet outside, it makes everything look dark. Like that we were talking about like that desert boot becomes like brown. The same thing for the environment there. It gets really dark out there at around 4 o'clock now. When you're hitting that low sun.
Yeah.
In wintertime, it's just gonna get darker.
And
And Panther's time doesn't change though.
We're open till 6.
Yeah, we're open till 6.
So we are going to get a bit of night games.
Yeah.
So exactly. You get your little brief taste of, I guess, like night games, sort of like Panther skirmish style, not like the intense.
But if you're playing night
ones.
games, you're literally starting
In the dark
like
this
in the
time,
dark.
not like,
You're not
earlier.
getting
Yeah.
any light at all.
Highly recommend playing night games.
Exactly.
So
for
what does that
anyone-
mean when you're playing, later or even throughout the day where it's like dark and even going to the mines and stuff, right?
Yeah. Well,
it's dark.
or seeing a guy, like if you want to identify a target directly in mines, right? You think he's friendly.
Yeah.
No.
Bring a flashlight.
Well, so definitely for night play, I would recommend like a tack light, so a gun light,
Yep.
and a red light, so
Yeah.
a dead light.
Yep.
A lot of
But-
people get that kind of mistaken.
Well,
and
by the way,
everything like
so that people understand the distinction, like for example, the ASG night games, you have to have a flashlight for that. For the Panther
and dead light.
and a red dead
and
light.
the dead light, exactly. Now for the Panther sort of later in the day kind of games, you don't have to have a flashlight, but hey, it'll increase your playability.
Well, yeah. So the tracers are gonna start coming out. The tack flashlights.
That's
are
right.
definitely
Anyone
a
who
good
wants to
idea.
run tracers near the end of the day and stuff like that, have some Star Wars battles.
Well, not even during the end of the day. I feel like in these months, because we're so overcasted and everything like
Yeah.
that, being
Do
in
you
a dark
do you guys
forest.
believe that tracers are effective midday?
No, I'm gonna say
from my
no.
experience,
I've
it's not
used
good.
tracers for a lot of events and stuff, and I would say maybe close to 4 o'clock in wintertime.
just-
It's
Well,
gonna be
I would
just
feel
dark,
like
yeah.
it's like for however dark it is out right now, kind of thing. Like it's about 7
pitch
o'clock
black
right
out
now,
there.
kind
It's
of
pitch
thing.
black,
So
yeah.
exactly, this is like the perfect time.
Yep.
To be using it, kind of thing, right?
Yeah, bust out the NVGs.
Yeah.
Sorry, I better not talk about that. Apparently, our comments are misinformed.
Good one, audience. Good one.
What do you mean special forces don't need flashlights? Or what did he say? They only need flashlights?
only need
Yeah,
flashlights.
bro, save the taxpayer money. Come on, what the hell? GP NVGs? You don't need that. I hope
yeah.
they can sense my sarcasm.
No.
No,
Not at
probably
all.
not.
No, you're not being sarcastic. You're being so truthful. These are facts we're spilling out, boys.
Oh yeah.
Some people don't like it. Facts don't care about your feelings.
Facts over
Are you
feelings.
crying?
No.
Yeah. Hashtag facts over feelings for 5% off.
Are you actually doing that? Discount code TAC.
You guys have so much discount codes. They're just gonna come up and
There
pile
are
it on
two.
top. They're gonna
There
pile
are
it on
two.
top of one
for
after
me,
the other.
One for TAC. They do not stack. Wow,
Right. Wow.
That's creepy.
I did not plan that.
That's a
Like
little
our
creepy.
names, it rhymes really well. That
Yeah.
also rhymes really well.
Let's not summon something evil here now, okay? Let's stop with that.
Elliot comes out of nowhere.
Yo, don't even
GP
joke. He will come out flying ninja kick somehow, man.
Exactly.
You know that, man.
That pretty much wraps up all the discussion for what's coming up at autumn.
Yeah, it's time to get ready.
Exactly.
Yeah, get your stuff together, guys. It is gonna get cold. You come in here unprepared. That's really up. The onus is on you for that, right? Like, I mean, you can visit the armory.
I do have a change of clothes for you available for purchase.
There you go.
Yes. And jackets. Jackets
Lots of jackets.
with camouflage patterns.
It's one of those things where you played airsoft so much that you got like an entire rack at home just with gear, seasonal gear.
Yep.
It's time to change up your outfits, guys, or either loadouts and stuff like that. So
If you're going to be a seasoned player, you're gonna have different loadouts.
You're going to be seasons.
You're gonna be seasoned.
That just sounds like you're sprinkling salt and pepper on it.
That's exactly what I was thinking in my mind, actually.
There you go.
Salt Bae,
Get your
right
jackets.
there.
Get your jackets.
Yeah. I know we're wrapping this up and everything like that, but I just reminded myself here. We didn't talk about the CQB intro course, actually, that's been going on here at Panther.
Yes.
There was that little teaser that happened.
Yes. So I'm helping run that. There is a teaser course with Jeff again.
Jeff DeGroot, for
Jeff
anyone that
DeGroot.
missed that, he is former Canadian JTF2. So
For
that's
anyone who
assaulter,
cares.
sniper. He's done a lot of roles for JTF and
the
it's-
Special Forces, bro.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's crazy.
For
It's-
again,
like
for anyone who
Canadian
cares.
Special Forces. Okay,
Yeah.
we don't talk about them a lot. They're freaking top tier.
They are.
Just adding in again for anyone who cares.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, go meet the guy. He's a great guy. And he'll talk to you.
Unfortunately, the classes are booked right now.
They are.
The teaser
booked,
is
yeah.
full.
The free teasers are full,
Yeah.
but he is offering.
He changed the course now to just CQB only because from the
general
response,
interest,
the
yeah.
general response I'm getting from everybody is just COVID, just not a lot of free available funds for everybody to just throw around and stuff like that. No, I get it. I was listening to it. I put my input to their company about it, and they remodified their course. They want to do like a 10-hour sort of CQB course. A lot of people were interested in that because of the fact that it's something that they could that airsofters can relate quicker to it. I've taken the longer course that he has, and it is intense. It is informative. It is specific to what we do outside here, but it's just not possible to do it in that 10 hours alone because he's going through.
It's got to be multiple. It's more like he's gonna have to offer it in like levels, kind of thing, for you to get the true value out of what he has to offer.
So again, they are exclusive to Panther. They're here to stay. They are really reluctant to have us supply them with an area to work with, and with that in mind, you could just you could go to their Facebook, recommend what stuff you guys want to run with. If you want to do like a group thing with your team, they're more than willing to do it. There is a price for it. We do mind you are paying for
real world
experience with a real tier 1 operator, and as well as a counterintelligence operator as well.
Andy, his partner,
is really
a
good.
Very good guy. Definitely recommend meeting both of those people.
Yeah,
well, exactly. For anyone who might be tall nosed on this or whatever it is, these guys are actually opening up their time to sort of help cater to our part of our stuff, because like what they do in their day-to-day is they actually train Leo and military guys.
So what they're doing is just opening up.
Yeah, they don't even have to look at us, but the fact that they
didn't exactly. But what they have done now, right, is just open up the avenue for airsofters. It was really funny because I saw a lot of people kind of like bouncing back for it, like you were saying there, where they were all like, "Wow, this guy coming in trying to teach airsofters." No. That's not the case. Okay, they just happen to luck out with the relationship they've created with our field and everything like that. They have an area where they can train, and we convinced them to open it up to broaden their spectrum. Because again, they are training real world military and law enforcement.
Well,
right?
How many of you guys watch Lucas? How many of you guys, watch Milspec Mojo? How many of you guys watch on the internet all those guys?
Yeah.
How many of you guys want to train with them?
Well, so that opportunity is now available here.
It's
right?
a real
Except we have a tier 1 operator
exactly.
who actually deploys.
Who has real battle experience.
Well, he's got more than one there.
Exactly.
Man.
And to emphasize for everyone out there, that costs money, right? And on top of that, like the experience that you're gonna soak up from this guy is crazy. So I don't want to go too much into it. Just
All I can tell you is I've learned a lot just from taking some of his courses, and like I said, it is very intense. And I'm glad that they opened up to the airsoft world because of the fact that they were skeptical at first into training all of this stuff to us. But I reassured them that, hey, these guys are just going to pick it up quick because they just, on their heads, they've seen a lot of, content online, a lot of videos online and all this stuff and that. And you being here and, teaching, just regular folks how these things work is great because it's just, it's great for the field. It's great for them. They're making money, right?
Exactly. And it can also help with sort of like the gun culture in a responsible, sort of positive fashion as well. And so that's, another great benefit.
Yeah, so they're here to stay. Don't worry if you miss out on any of the courses. We'll try and convince them to do some freebies and stuff, some teasers,
More teasers for people,
because
ask the guys who did do that.
Yeah, and CQB is just one of the teasers. Now they made a CQB course, that you could pay for, right? It's a 10-hour long course, a lot of information there. But he's going to open up to like we were doing last week. We were doing vehicle, vehicle dismounts, vehicle dismounts, and VIP protection
and extractions
And stuff like that.
That's just a taste of what is to come, and it's intense.
Yeah, it was intense.
And he told us right away, "It's like, yeah, we had to do this every day in Iraq or Afghanistan. And
we got to drill it into your head so that when
he does it every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you're ready to react.
And same thing with the CQB. He did that every day. And I'm like, holy cow, I can't do this every day.
Every day, every 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like.
Well, it's rep after rep after rep, right?
Yeah. This is, practice makes perfect. An athlete for,
exactly.
military.
Well, that's what it is. You're a tier 1 operator. Like you
have to be the best of the best.
Yeah, you are.
But yeah, so you guys, you heard it here. A little bit of detailed information on that. If you guys want any more information, there's
Camp X 103. Yeah, Camp X 103.
Between the Camp X.
No, it's Camp X. No space between the camp and an X, and then
just
space
for,
103.
People trying to look for it on the YouTube search, I found that if you do put the space, the algorithm
it's Facebook.
Yeah, it'll chase you around. So Camp
X, they're only in Facebook right now. But
are they okay?
Yeah.
So
they'll be having their own website.
They'll move to other
like
platforms eventually, but again, they're new. They're coming out. Guys, stay tuned.
And please be nice to them. Treat them with respect. Because they're here.
You should definitely have a bit of respect there.
So speaking of courses and stuff like that, did we go over the ASG stuff?
ASG, they're having a game Saturday. Regular games are still happening, so if anyone's confused, because I usually post up their schedule on Facebook. We're also still doing regular games for Airsoft, but ASG has their own game that's happening across the bridge, or I don't know. I didn't get the details from what they're doing, but probably at Airsoft side or paintball side now, I guess.
Oh wow, the times have changed.
Yeah, it's just changed now. So across the river on the east side. So that's probably where they're going to do their games. And it's like I said, when we talk about squads and we talked about different game types, they're going to be different. They're going to be much more stringent on rules, and there's a lot more team play involved rather than shoot 'em up.
There's a lot more dynamic to it.
If you're looking for something a little bit more different than regular drop-ins, I suggest going to them and talking to Julian if it's your first time going to those games. So that's Saturday, and then the next night game is coming up in next Friday, not this Friday. Following week.
If you're listening to this, it'll be the next.
You got lots of options still to play. Night games. A little bit of mil sim, like mini mil sims, or whatever they want to run. And regular dropping games. Yeah, we're not like Panther does not close throughout the seasons.
No, we're gonna be here the whole time for the hardcore, for the guys that want to come out and experience something. But honestly, definitely prepare for the weather. That is always the thing. That is always the case, no matter what the season is. And that's what I can't stress enough. Is just,
you know what else is fun about this season? Other than pumpkin spice,
Ugg boots and Han Solo.
I was just gonna say scars looking like Uggs.
Go away. I like my scar.
Sorry, man.
You had the stock.
You just figured it out.
You just figured it
I'm
out.
sorry, man.
Yo, comment in the section below.
No hate on all you guys with scars and all, but I can't unsee that stuff, man.
I was just talking about
If you're
how
rocking a
girls,
scar in the
wear
wintertime, I'm
that,
thinking Ugg boots.
and then they're wearing like the black down quill jacket or something. It's like the Han Solo.
The Han
look.
Solo look, yeah.
You guys are missing the point. October.
Oh, Halloween!
Heck
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's definitely time to plan. We're already at the end of September here, and I would love to see as many people out this year. Halloween falls
As they
on a
did last
Saturday.
year.
Well,
Yeah.
Halloween falls on a Saturday
Saturday.
this year.
Oh, sweet. So that's gonna be awesome because
Yeah.
last year was on the Friday.
Actually, let's ask the audience. Do you want like special game modes for that day?
That would be cool. you
Yeah.
know?
I guess that's a question we can put out. Yeah.
Is anybody coming as a crew of one costume? I would
Or a zombie
love-
crew.
Yeah, I would love to see like a.
If you do,
Ghostbusters
we can make a game
crew
for
or,
you. Like no one can shoot you, but you could just run after people.
that would be pretty cool.
I'm not gonna lie, that would be scary. Cause that gives me like memory vibes of our conversation with Merlin.
Yep.
Talking about Roman, and he actually showed me the picture of what Roman looked like as a zombie. Yeah, I would be screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, dude, he looked legit, and they put the GoPro right on his chest. So like they must have gotten some great footage of people.
They have. I've seen it before, and it's hilarious.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah.
So we can build games around zombie games. I mean, it is Halloween themed.
It is the season.
So give us
is
like
the
game
season,
modes and stuff like that. Like we listened to your recommendation last time about game modes. Let's hear it for this season, right?
What do you guys want to see? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone who made it to the end of this, please let us know what you think.
And
down
bring your
below.
costumes out if you're gonna do it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Entire October, do it after Thanksgiving.
Wait, entire October?
Yeah.
Why? Like,
There's only like what 4 weekends.
so you just got to get away with it?
Yeah. It's the place to be. It's a safe.
It's a safe
We've
place.
already dressed up here.
Yeah,
Come
we
on.
already LARP,
Are you
right?
judging people
I'm
who
not judging
already
it. I'm
dress
not-
up for airsoft?
I'm not judging. No. But I don't know, guys. I think that wraps it up.
That wraps it up.
Yeah, that wraps it up.
All right.
Who wants to do closing?
All right. Okay.
Go.
Thanks for joining us again, guys, for another episode of the Panther Airsoft Folding Table Talk. I've been your host, Mac. That's Tack.
Hey guys, and see you later.
And that's Boy.
And that is me. And I am gonna press the stop here. And we're probably gonna get caught.